Boruto episode 251 review. The title of this episode is Their Resolve, and I have to say I really love the tone of this episode. You can feel the war vibes, you can feel the tension, you can feel the build up. The creators really knew what they were doing with this one. So starting off, we see that the Mizukage is now finding out that Kagura and Hibichigo have been killed in action. Also that Butan, Kyoho and Hibichigo were of great help in driving away the Funato's detached unit. And it's during this time that the Mizukage states that he had hoped Kagura would be the one to take on the mantle of the Mizukage someday, which I did state in my previous videos on this arc. And to this day, Kagura's death still hurts me. But as we all know, that's just the life of a shinobi. Moving on, we see that Team Sarada is still in shock as they found out that Ikeda is a part of the Fanato. Also, we see that Lord Isari and Jubiki, that's what he's called, have arrived to where the Mizukage's office is. One thing that stood out to me here is when we see the Mizukage and his assistant walk back to the desk. And to me, this means getting down to business Kage style. We then see the Mizukage and Lord Isari discussing arrangements. And another moment that stood out to me here was when Isari said, "There are many who are dissatisfied with the way my father is handling things." And this brought me back to when Ariyumi said something along the lines of, "There are a lot of people who dislike the way the Land of Water is doing things," pertaining to the construction of the Shinonome. And I have to say, like father, like son. Moving on, as the Mizukage and Isari are about to get somewhere with their talks, the Funato takes control of the Land of Water's airwaves and begin to announce their attack. It's during this time that we see the sword that was given to Isari by Ariyumi attack Isari, piercing right through his body and almost instantly killing him. Talk about cold. Moving on, it's during the Funato's announcement that Team Sarada and the rest of the shipbuilders see Ikeda and his new look. Ikeda then declares the first target being the Shinonome 1. And I have to say, for some reason, for someone who has never been in a war before, Ikeda is really leading this team like he's done this many times before. Also, when I saw Ariyumi say compatriots who are dissatisfied with the Land of Water stand with us, it came to me that possibly this war could get bigger than expected, as people who are in the Land of Water who are dissatisfied with the Land of Water may start wars which could further hurt the Land of Water. So the Land of Water has to stop the Funato before they get to the shores. Moving on, we see that Team Sarada is a bit confused as to what they should do. And I really like how they gave Mitsuki some spotlight here. Like, I thought Mitsuki was definitely going to take charge, but he just asked Boruto what he wanted to do, which is the usual Mitsuki for you. Boruto then decides to stop the war, as he wants to laugh and talk with Ikeda again. But Butan, Kyoho are not going to agree with that, as they're not as soft and as forgiving as Boruto and the others. Plus, they've sort of lost a teammate as opposed to Team 5 and Team 7 who didn't lose any, so I kinda get where they're coming from. We see Denki and Iwabe having to hold off Butan and Kyoho, while Team 7 leaves to try and stop the war. All while Metal is standing there watching them fight, confused as hell. But hopefully they'll come to an agreement. Lastly, we see that Ikeda decides to lead the Funato through the Sea of Death, as it will be the shortest route to the Shinonome 1. And during this time, the Mizukage gets word that the Funato is passing through the Sea of Death, catching them off guard. And so the Mizukage decides to set sail in order to protect the Shinonome 1. And we even see the Mizukage's assistant telling him it's impossible, as right now they can just barely defend the Shinonome, to which the Mizukage tells her they have to try, showing that it's highly likely that even the Mizukage's team can be taken down by the Funato right now. But hopefully Team 7 will be there to help out, as we see Team 7 heading to where the Mizukage is. And that's basically where the episode ends. Overall, I do think this episode was a good episode. Really looking forward to seeing what happens in the next. But that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching.